Hey everyone, it's Smitha. Today I'm really excited because I'm going to be trying out a bunch of new products that I've been really wanting to test out, and we are going to be doing a wear test as well. For me, the star of the show is this new foundation from Nars. This is called the Natural Matte Longwear Foundation, and this just came out. I picked it up from Sephora. Now this is a pricey foundation. It retails for $55, but in general, I've had a good track record when it comes to trying foundations from Nars. It's been quite a while since I did, but I think they do great with complexion products, and by and large, they have a great shade range. And this shade is Phoenix. So this is described as medium deep, and it has olive undertones. And my skin concerns include that I have oiliness that I tend to develop in my T-zone, especially as the day goes on, hyperpigmentation, and acne. In addition, I also have some new products from Milk Makeup. I have their concealer. I have a new blush trio from Morphe, Kulfi Beauty, and Mob Beauty. So let's go ahead and get into it. I have prepped my face. I basically, put on a moisturizer sunscreen, and then right before I filmed, I used the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin blurring balm, and I have the shade 5, and all I did was place some of it in the T-zone. So I haven't tried this foundation at all yet. I haven't even seen if it's a shade match. I certainly hope so by the description. I think that if it's not an exact shade match, that it's going to be pretty close. So let's go ahead and go right in with the foundation. I've done one pump. I'm just going to spread this around and then use a brush. So right off the bat, it is looking like this is going to be a decent shade match. Yeah, I feel like this shade is probably the one that's closest to me. And this is one of the brushes from Lethal Cosmetics, by the way, from their SpongeBob collaboration. I'm just basically taking one pump and blending it into the skin. Now, some of the claims of this foundation are that it's long wear, it's lightweight, and it's matte. So I am seeing that it looks like it has a matte finish as I'm blending it in. I am hoping that it stays that way and I don't become too dewy as the day goes on. Okay, here is what we're looking like with the foundation all blended in. This is just going in with one pump. I would say that this is somewhere between a medium and a full coverage. You do see maybe a little bit of my kind of darker spots peeking through, but this is pretty darn good. And I really do think that this is my perfect shade match. Now, for this concealer from Milk Makeup, I actually shade matched in store. So I think that this is my perfect shade. I'm going to just use this and go over a couple of spots that I tend to get some darkness that peeks through, a couple of my acne scars. And by the way, this is the shade 9. And then I'm just going to use a little bit under the eyes as well. All right, I used the Milk Concealer under my eyes and just over a couple of my dark spots, but I really like how my complexion is looking right now. I feel like it is in fact mattifying, but it's not too mattifying, and it does feel incredibly lightweight on the skin. Now I am just going to take a little bit of this pressed powder from Hourglass, and this is the shade Translucent Tan, and I'm just going to set under my eyes. And then just a little bit in my T-zone. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with this Cheek Thrills from Morphe. This is part of their new collection. I got a few pieces, but in this video I'm only gonna use this one. And I was really excited about this one because I love blushes that lean brown. So I wanna use this cream blush, and I'm brand new to this formula. I know ideally I wouldn't be using all new products when I'm testing a new base product, but I wasn't sure when I would have a chance to use this. Otherwise, this is a beautiful, kind of muted blush shade on me. The other products in here are powders. I believe that this is a powder blush and then this is a highlight. And I think I am gonna go over this cream blush with a powder blush. And now I'm just gonna use this powder blush. It does look like it has maybe just a soft sheen to it. That has some decent pigmentation. Here's what the blush looks like fully applied. Now for lips, I am very curious about this lip liner stain from Kulfi. Actually, one of my makeup predictions for 2026 is that we were going to be seeing more lip liner stains in general. So I am happy to see that at least that's coming true from one brand. I think we're going to see more from other brands too. This, by the way, is the shade Chelum. And this one is like a beautiful kind of brown toned plum shade. And I'm just trying to take my fingertip and blend out those harsh edges. I think you have a little bit of playtime with this before it completely sets down. Okay, here is what the lip liner looks like fully applied. And then for my gloss, I'm gonna use the sparkly kind of deep brown gloss from Rare Beauty called Blaze. This came out last year, kind of like middle portion of the year, I wanna say. Okay, now for my eyes, I wanna start off with this brand new formula from Mob Beauty. This is the Cream Clay Liquid Eyeshadow, and I'm very intrigued about these. These, I believe, come in 5 different shades. They are supposed to be really easy to blend out. As many of you know, I love their Cream Clay shadows, so you're supposed to be able to just blend these out with your fingertip. I think that this is definitely the shade for me. I think the other shades might be a little bit light, but this one is perfect. And you're supposed to be able to wear these on your own or use these as a base for other eyeshadows. And they're supposed to be quite long wear and dry down, but not feel kind of too drying on the lids. And then I'm just going to blend out around the edges with a blending brush. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of what's left over on my brush and sweep it under the lower lash line. Look at how beautiful the blend is on those two. Just beautiful. Would be great as just an easy one and done shadow, or I'm probably going to be using it quite a bit as a base for shimmer shadows. I'm going to go in as with this new shade from Terra Moon's Artemis 2, which just launched yesterday. This is a glowy kind of blue purple. And I'm just gonna put that all over the lid. I did prime my lids with a little bit of the Cliona Shimmer Enhancer. I added some liner and mascara and a little bit of brow gel, and now I'm just going to finish off my look with a little bit of the Danessa Myricks setting spray. This I talked about in some of my favorites from 2025, and I really do think that it's so effective. Here's the finished look. I am really happy with how this look has come together and how these products have applied, but the true test is going to be after we've had a chance to really see how they wear. So with that being said, we'll be back after at least 8 hours of wear. All right, we are back. I've had this makeup on for 9 hours without any touch-ups. The only thing that I reapplied was the lip gloss. Otherwise, I've done nothing. I haven't used any extra powder or anything like that. So I want to start off by talking about this Nars foundation. As some of you may know, I mentioned that I tend to get oily in the T-zone, and I have to say that of any foundation that I've tried in the past year or so, this honestly is the best in terms of the oil control that I've experienced. I have definitely gotten a little bit shinier in the T-zone, but you have to remember I also have a bunch of very bright lights on me right now, so you have to take that into account. But honestly, this is fantastic, and I have to say it doesn't feel drying whatsoever. I'm very impressed. Now let's get up close and just see, you still have a very good coverage, I would say. Like, it doesn't look to me like the foundation is breaking up in any kind of weird way. So honestly, I feel very, very excited to play around with this foundation. I think first impression, this may be the best matte foundation that I've tried recently, and also the best shade match. I tried one from NYX and I really liked it. Obviously, the NYX one is significantly less expensive, but I have to say that I like this foundation a lot more, and that's not to say I didn't like the NYX one, but this one is absolutely fantastic on first impression. Something to keep in mind is that if you are very dry, this may not work for you. I wouldn't say that I'm kind of combo, but I wouldn't say that I tend to run very dry. So for me, I feel like this is honestly a great match. Okay, next, let's talk about this Milk Concealer. I have to play around with this more, and I really want to play around with it on days where I'm only using a concealer so I can see exactly what it's doing. I have to say, I'm not absolutely in love with the way that my under eyes look. I don't think they look bad, but honestly, there is some kind of wearing away here, and just, I'm not sure I love the way that my under eyes look, especially compared to the Maxine's Revenge concealer that I've been absolutely loving. As a spot concealer, I think this might be fantastic. I'm just not sure that this is going to be my under eye concealer. Okay, next we have the lip liner from Kulfi, and these are staining lip liners. So they have a staining lip gloss that came out, I want to say 2 years ago. And this is a staining lip liner. It kind of has a gel texture when it's going on. And honestly, I am happy to say that despite the fact that I've had meals, I've had hot beverages, it's still very much there. There is some definite fade, but, it's intact. And the fact that, I'm here 9 hours later and it still looks pretty good, I think is a good thing. I don't know if this is as good as the NYX one that I have tried, the NYX Lip Lingerie. I kind of want to do a head-to-head comparison, but honestly, I feel like this is a really nice product. And in terms of the application, I like it better than the felt tip. I like a gel kind of applicator better than the felt tip applicator. So in terms of applying it, I do like it better. Okay, next is this Mob Beauty liquid clay eyeshadow. I think I said cream clay first, but it's actually liquid clay, and it completely dries down. And this is the deepest shade Chocolate. I really had a great time applying this, and I think this is a really nice product. I honestly hope that they decide to do more shades of this, because they are definitely onto something with this formula. It looks fantastic. It worked great as a base, and I'm just really excited to play around with this more. Okay, and then we have to talk about this Cheek Thrills Trio from Morphe. I didn't use the highlight, but I did use these two shades. I think that this has also worn really beautifully. I'm honestly blown away with how well this wear test went. I feel like I haven't had a wear test go this well. I'm not used to Morphe being good. Like, I feel like in the past year they've had, quite the turnaround, and I've been a little bit slow to try the products, but I was very intrigued by the shades here, and I've been hearing that these are good, so I was curious. And honestly, I feel like this is lovely. I haven't got any kind of weird fade. It looks beautiful, and this just in general is a beautiful shade. And by the way, in case you're curious, this is the shade Yacht Day. And last but not least, the Shimmer Shadow from Terra Moons. I did a video talking a little bit more about this launch in the video right before this. So if you're curious, definitely check that out. And this looks really beautiful. I didn't get any fallout. In my opinion, this is one of Terra Moon's best formulas. It's smooth, but it's very sparkly, and it just looks so pretty. So I think they nailed it with this launch, and I'm really excited to play around with these shadows more. All right, I feel like this is probably the best trying new makeup video that I've done in quite a while. I'm very excited about these products. Probably the one that I'm most excited about. I'm incredibly excited about this foundation. I feel like I'm going to be using it a ton, and it's going to be replacing a bunch of my foundations in terms of favorites. So, obviously this is still a first impression, but I'm incredibly excited to play around with this more. But I think in general, this try on went really well. I'm very curious to know what you think of the products that I tried. Which products do you feel most excited about? Definitely let me know in the comments. As always, I really hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.